Welcome to the Psychic Pinup Podcast, the anything and everything spiritual podcast where we dive into hot topics, readings, viewer questions, and more. Thank you for tuning in. Now, sit back, relax, and let's dive right into it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Anything and Everything Spiritual Podcast. My name is Linda, also known as the Psychic Pinup, and I am your host of this show. Today, I would love to do a bit of a deep dive into a topic that honestly needs a spotlight. And that is money and spirituality. So let's talk about money here. More specifically, about pricing your services, owning your worth, and navigating the guilt, judgment, and confusion that comes with charging for your spiritual work. Now, I know that there will be a number of listeners here who do not work in the spiritual realm. It also applies to you as well. And that is another reason why I am doing this podcast, so you have a better understanding of why we charge and how we charge for our services. I also wanted to do this podcast for those who do work in the spiritual realm. There are many practitioners who are struggling with setting their prices, feeling awkward about talking money with clients. There's also been many of you, including myself, who have been shamed for making money or an income doing this. So let's get real, let's talk business, and let's do it without losing our spiritual alignment. So why is it such a taboo subject? There seems to be this idea that spirituality and money shouldn't mix. And it seems to be so deeply ingrained in us. I know I've been there also from a very young age. We've been taught that if you're spiritual, you're supposed to give freely. That your gift, I will change that word to ability, but I will interchange that word throughout this podcast. Gift, ability, it's the same thing, but your gift is sacred. So it should not come with a price tag. But here's the truth, and I've sat with this for a number of years as I've built my business. I have sat in that space. I have felt guilty charging. I've also changed my mindset with it. And just hear me out on this. Just sit with me. The truth of the matter is, we live in a world where money is the exchange system. It's how we survive, grow, and yes, even serve. If you're a psychic, healer, medium, coach, reader, or anything in between, it all falls under that same umbrella, you're still offering your energy, your time, your years of experience, and that's not free. Let's look at it from another perspective here. People go to school for years to become therapists, doctors, lawyers. Many of them are very, very gifted at what they do. Doctors, they are healers, they heal. But with that comes a price tag. They don't do it for free. They charge accordingly. But when a psychic or an energy healer does the same in their field, they're often told it's greedy, it's unethical, or it's not very spiritual. Let's be real. That's spiritual bypassing. That's guilt conditioning, and that shit needs to go, putting it simply. So now I would like to talk to you about pricing as an energetic exchange. You may hear that reference quite a bit. It's an exchange of energy. I give you something, you give me something in return. I give you my energy. What can you give me in return here? Your energy will be money. Money is energy. Pricing is not just a number, it's a boundary also. And what I mean by that is when you undercharge, you're saying to people, my time, my energy and gifts aren't valuable. Energetically, you're telling the universe and your clients that your work isn't worth much. Think about that one. And what happens from that? Quite frankly, you'll burn out. You'll start attracting clients who drain you. You start to resend your work. But when you price with alignment and self-worth, you're creating space for clients who respect you, a business that sustains you, and energy that can replenish. It also allows your clients to show up more fully. When someone invests in themselves, through you, they're saying, I value this experience, I'm ready for change. And breaking that down a little bit more, in other words, if you are undercharging, you are telling people that you are not valuing your time, your self-worth, and in exchange, these people will not value you either. I hope that makes sense. I've been there a number of times, more than I can count. And I just remember being at an expo a couple of years ago, and I put my prices up on the wall, and I had another psychic come up to me and made a comment about what I was charging. To the words, good luck getting that. It actually had me psyched out. I started questioning myself as a psychic. The imposter syndrome kicked in. That's for another episode. The imposter syndrome, it kicked in. But then I sat with it and I thought, no, I know my worth. I know I am good. This is what I am charging. And to be honest with you, I was paranoid that I would not get readings because of that. They planted that seed of doubt in my mind. Do you want to know what happened? I was fully booked the entire weekend. And I'm so grateful I listened to my team, the universe, and I knew my worth. I'd also just like to bring to the attention that a lot of these other psychics who are charged on the lower end of the scale here generally have day jobs as well. I don't. I work full-time as a psychic medium. I run a viable business. And in order for me to be in business, these are the prices I have to charge. I pay tax. In fact, I pay GST, as well as income tax. I pay rent on a studio. I pay for subscriptions such as Zoom, BeLive. That's just what I can say off the top of my head. There's so many other things that I pay out. I pay insurances. I pay to run a motor vehicle to attend expos. I pay to be in expos. I pay for accommodation. I pay travel expenses. That money just doesn't come out of the air. That all comes down from what I charge as a psychic medium. So let's lead into money blocks. I keep having that song running through my head at the moment, Money Talks, but I want to talk about money blocks and spiritual guilt. Now, what are money blocks? Guess that probably 90% of you have money blocks. We've all grown up hearing things like, money is the root of all evil. Rich people are selfish. You shouldn't charge for helping others. These beliefs sit in our minds and create resistance. It manifests guilt, fear of raising prices, imposter syndrome. There we go again, the imposter syndrome, or not wanting to promote yourself. And then comes the spiritual guilt after that. If my gift is divine, shouldn't I offer it for free? But here's the thing. Your gift may be divine, but your energy, your time, and your human vessel are very much physical, and they need support. You don't owe anyone your depletion in the name of service. You owe your self-sustainability. I hope you understand what I'm talking about with that. I've had a few other colleagues, associates, psychic mediums. We all get chatting. We get into conversations. And we've had conversations such as boundaries, freebies, and what do you do with the can't pay clients? The amount of times we hear, I really want a reading, but I can't afford it right now. Can you do it cheaper? Now, for me, this is where boundaries become spiritual tools for me. I may not be able to sit with you one-on-one and do a private reading. What I do is offer live feeds once a week, every Tuesday evening for 1 hour, where I will do mini readings. I will offer my services for that hour, and I try to answer as many people or get to as many people as what I can during that hour. That's what we would call collective readings, and it's my way of giving back. I also offer my services to charities. I will do 3 charitable events a year to raise money. Again, that is my way of giving back. I've also been known to give money back to people who have come in for readings. Now, these beautiful people have saved to have a reading with me, and they have sat opposite me, and I can see in their energy and their faces that they can't afford this. They have not once asked for a discount from me, but I can tell that money is better elsewhere. And I have refunded because of that. They did not expect it, but it was my way of giving back. So we're not all money hungry people. So I will say this to the spiritual workers out there. It's okay to say no. It's okay to trust that the right people will invest when the time is right. I know that there are many spiritual workers out there who are struggling with embracing spiritual entrepreneurship, aka business. I love entrepreneurship. I love business. I know it's also part of my calling. But I'm here to tell you that you are also a spiritual entrepreneur. That doesn't make you less gifted. It means you're treating your calling with the care and structure it deserves. Running a spiritual business means marketing, booking systems, website costs, training events, energy work, admin, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And there's so much behind the scenes work that we do. It's not just a case of pulling cards for 30 minutes and giving somebody a reading. Me personally, I can't speak for everybody, but I can quite easily say that I work at least 70 hours a week on my business. Only a very, very small fraction of those hours is put aside for private readings. Everything else is work going on behind the scenes, whether it's organising the events, working on websites, again, doing your socials, and so on and so on. Exactly what I was talking about with entrepreneurship/business. And you need to be paid for it. You need to be compensated for all that work that you have done. The exchange of energy needs to happen. Again, I would love for you to honour your business as much as you are honouring your calling. That's how you create a lasting impact, guys. Think about that. So for all my beautiful listeners out there who work in the spiritual industry, and for those beautiful listeners who are my clients or thinking about having a reading, not just with me, but with another psychic medium, I hope you got something out of this. I hope you have a better understanding of where we are coming from when we do charge for our services. And I hope you can appreciate the amount of time, effort, energy that we do put in to be able to provide a service for you. And for the spiritual workers, I hope you got something out of this. A bit of a pep talk that you are good. You deserve to charge for your time and your energy and your effort. So guys, if this episode resonates, please share it with another person who you think can benefit from this, or they need a little gentle nudge or a pep talk. And as always, feel free to reach out to me. Share with me your stories, questions. You can reach me on the socials at The Psychic Pinup. let's keep the conversation going and let's educate. But until next time, trust your intuition, honor your energy, and don't be afraid to charge what you're worth. My name is Linda, the Psychic Pinup, and you have been listening to the Anything and Everything Spiritual podcast. Bye.
You have been listening to Linda, the Psychic Pinup. Linda is a psychic medium based on the New South Wales south coast of Australia. You can connect with her via her website, thepsychicpinup.com.au, or join her on her weekly live feeds on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all under the same name, The Psychic Pinup. Thanks for listening.